Yeah, good job. Okay, good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
And good evening, community members. Wonderful. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. Um, um, we're going to get tonight's May 2026 General Body meeting started. This meeting is recorded for public record on YouTube with faithful 20 followers. So it's going viral tonight. So again, thank you so much for coming. We have pretty, I'll say it's a light agenda. Yeah, I always do. But we'll get started tonight with our if Commissioner Rice, if Secretary Rice, if you could call the roll.
Benson, Cooper,
Here.
Chris, here, Edwards, here, Francisco, Hanson, Humphrey,
Present.
Harris,
Present.
Hess, Clayback,
Here.
Lowenstein, Rice, here, Thompson,
Presently here.
Watson, Wilbur, here, Rusky. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Madam Vice Chair, Francisco sent out the meeting minutes from the May 2026 zoning site visits, as well as the Community Engagement Committee minutes, along with the April General Body meeting minutes, along with the April Planning and Zoning Committee meeting minutes. Given that you all have had time to review those minutes at this time, are there any need for revisions of those documents that were sent out? Saying that there are no comments or suggestions towards those documents, I'd like to entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes as is.
So moved, Thompson.
Second, Chris.
All right, seeing that it's been moved and second, there's no need for discussion. All those in favor of approving those minutes that were sent? Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? All right, looks like it passed. Okay. We do not have any keynote speakers or guests tonight. So at this time, we'll hear any announcements or public comments from those of us on the commission, or any members of the Community Engagement Committee.
Central Community House is coming Tuesday and have their monthly community dinner. It is sponsored by the Board of Central Community House. You are invited out as community members. Last month we had commissioners come out and felt really like that. So I want to invite you guys out again. We will be on the corner of Friday and Wilson for 6 to 8. Fights and mics. So we have open mic as well. So if you got a song or a dance, sign up as well.
My apologies. I wanted to present Chair Harris with this placard to say thank you once again for, I'm sorry.
No,
Yeah. For your amazing work in the community that you do with the brilliance and other contributions that you've given to the Reroute program with the City of Columbus. So thank you so much on behalf of Reroute.
thank you so much. Yeah, this is going to look very nice on my wall at the house. Thank you so much, Commissioner Thompson. Are there any more announcements? Yes, Commissioner.
And for members of the commission, I have been working on the NEAC drive. It has been reorganized. I have just started populating a number of the minutes and agendas and applications. So give me a little bit more time and we'll have it done. And thank you.
A couple announcements from OTINA. They had a meeting last night. Believe it or not, the first Music in the Garden will be this weekend on Sundays. So if you haven't checked out Music in the Garden with OTINA, please take a stroll down there and come see some neighbors. Trash Treasures is coming up. That'll be the third Saturday in June. And then the Summer Tour of Homes is always the second Sunday in July. They are still looking for volunteers to be helping out with the tour, either from a sponsorship perspective, if you have a home that you're interested in. They had 2 homes drop out last week, so they have 2 that they need to fill, as well as day of volunteers. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Otina. Thank you.
Music in the Garden, what time and where's the location?
I want to say it's usually at 7, and the location is on the little garden here on Oak.
Okay, just down the street from you.
Yep.
6 days.
Thank you. Are there any other announcements from commissioners or members of the Community Engagement Committee? Next Saturday here at the Neighborhood Pride Center, there's something going on. Siobhan,
I'm so sorry.
next Saturday here.
Yes.
Or yeah, after this Saturday, yeah.
Yes, there is an event, offered by the City of Columbus Family Engagement, thank you so kindly. They will be having their community event here, from 11 to 1:30, I believe it is this Saturday, so you're more than welcome to come out, acquire all of the varying different resources and community partners. We, Near East Area Commission will be present and have a table to provide additional information about the commission. We are still hoping to have commissioners join us. I will be there, but would like to see someone else's beautiful face. Yes, I love it. Thank you. Thank you so kindly. Myself and Jacqueline will hold down before.
All right. Thank you, commissioners. At this, oh my bad. I have trying to help Mr. O'Body get this camera thing. We'll come back to you. It's all right. Actually, no, you go ahead because there's nobody else.
So I do have 2 quick announcements, commissioners. You should have received a training notification for area commission website, social media, and media training, which is Thursday, May 28th at the Department of Neighborhood's main office at 1410 Cleveland. The Neighborhood Design Center, as well as our public information officer, Beth, will be doing kind of a 2-hour, an hour and a half training on do's and don'ts on social media or whatnot as an area commission. And then the next training after that's going to be Saturday, July 25th, which is a popular one, planning variance and rezoning. That's the one that's space is limited because it's at the computer lab out with the Department of Planning. I know some of the commissioners have attended before. We have one in April, they have one in April, and then the next one's July 25th. So just gonna put that on your radar. And then for commissioners and as well as for community members, the Department of Neighborhood is has a nonprofit accelerator program, and the deadline for the application is June 30th. So that is a 10-week program to do capacity building for small grassroots nonprofit organizations in the community. You need to be a nonprofit for that. But again, it's a great opportunity to kind of get capacity building. We know there's a lot of great agencies doing some great work in the community, but sometimes they need a little help. So the Department of Neighborhoods has this 10-week program. So again, strongly encourage you all, if you know any nonprofits or you yourself are part of one, it does have to be small. There's an application process. Obviously, there are some requirements, but strongly encourage you to apply. And that's it on my end first.
Thank you so much. Okay, at this time, we'll move to, or are there any announcements from members of the community? Please, Mr. If you could state your name, your affiliation, and
Dick Mason, Bronxville Neighborhood Association, next Thursday, the 21st of May. New Bean is going to have a ceremony at the Sawyer Tower, close to Sawyer Towers, approximately 11 o'clock in the morning. And that's to do the ceremony for the beginning of the physical demolition of the towers. So, fine.
Any announcement? Yes.
Hi, Keith Bergman, Franklin County Auditor's Office. Just wanted to put out on the radar, about the Franklin Six, property value review. Neighbors should get notified that it's going through it on April 29th, we sent out postcards. Now, in June 9th, you guys should get full value. The value we put on there, and then from July, August, to September, neighbors are gonna have that period to essentially come in and dispute that, negotiate that. And after that, if you still don't think, you're more than welcome to for decisions. But Chairman, if you want, we are also more than happy to come out and go in depth into the actual possible. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Yeah.
Yep.
Will you make yourself or a representative of the auditor's office available to like our local organization, the Park Neighborhood Association? Would you come to one of our meetings so our constituents can ask questions?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're trying to do. So if you guys have anything more happy, I can give you my cards.
Great.
Thanks, Chair.
Thank you. Any other announcements? Go ahead, you.
How you doing? I researched with the Office of Violence Prevention. It's been a minute this week. Someone's been out here pretty busy. We're actually housed in the building, so no excuses. But just wanted to just update you real quick. We're going into the last 2 weeks of school. So we're actually going to be at East High School. Chair Thompson's team will be at East High School doing the state passage, making sure that when the students are leaving school and they're leaving, we're action with no issues, leveraging their relationships with the students and making sure that there's no fights or anything after school. As well as we'll be at a couple of other high schools in South as well. We'll also be be at the pools this summer. I believe Maryland's fits in the Near East. So one of our ecosystem, CBI ecosystem members will be at Maryland pool frequenting there during the week. We just had a meeting with the aquatic staff yesterday. And this again, I got to give props to Chair Thompson last year. We were able to do this pilot partnership last year and it worked well. We're doing it again this year as well. The only other thing that I have, don't know if you saw the report, but there was a new national report that was put out on April 7th from the Center for American Progress. They analyzed gun violence trends from the 50 largest cities from 2021 to 2025. Only 17 cities achieved reductions greater than 50%, all sharing elements of having a Office of Violence Prevention, or OVP, a strong CBI ecosystem, effective GVRS strategies, and strong police practices. Columbus ranked number 5 nationally with a 63.5% reduction in gun violence, with significant progress occurring after the OVP was established in 2023. So this, and what was notable about this, and we did not ask for this study, they contacted us and they posted it, but we got this despite being in a state that had an F rating for gun regulation laws. So kudos to everyone in this room and the whole city of Columbus, and just the Columbus efforts in trying to bring down gun violence in our city. So that's what I have.
We should actually celebrate that we are. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you all who shared announcements with us. And additionally, now we've made it a little bit easier for commissioners to add community events to our calendar. So when there are events and things like that that you would like for community members and whatnot to know, you can just email us the event details, then all 15 of us can easily add it to the calendar, and it will be public for all of us. Just make sure we're not adding dental appointments and things like that. All right, now we'll move on to our standing committee reports. We'll start with Commissioner Rice, who chairs our planning committee.
Under new business, there were no new applications that came in before May 5th. So the June meeting for planning will be going over the citizen portal and the C-server software that the Department of Neighborhoods is using to provide us with wealth of information. So that's what's going to happen in June. At the May meeting, we did not have a quorum, so tonight we need to vote on the planning committee needs to vote on two properties that were reviewed at the May meeting. The first one is 476 North Champion Avenue. I'd like a motion to approve this application.
Members of the planning committee only. So that is just you and there it is. Yeah, you second. There it is. Yeah.
All those in favor, raise your hand, please. Thank you. 300. Sorry.
Should be 4.
Well, Vincent is not here.
What? 1, 2, 3, and 4.
1, 2, 3. Where's 4? Vincent is our fourth.
You're 4 in Hansford. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Am I crazy?
No, it's you,
No.
Commissioner Edwards, Commissioner Hanson Humphrey, and myself.
That's 4.
Oh,
Yeah, that's great.
all right, the other property, as soon as I can pull it back, that's coming. It's I think it's 155 South Ohio. I'm having trouble with.
It's 155 South Ohio.
Yeah, I'll entertain a motion to approve that application.
I move to approve.
Second.
And all those in favor? Unanimous, 4-0-0. And that concludes the planning committee report.
All right, thank you. Now we'll move on to zoning, which will be chaired by Commissioner Cleveland.
Yes, good evening. We are going to start this evening with 440 Taylor Avenue.
I'll do that.
Oh. When you said,
Yeah.
you change it.
Yeah, I'll just, yeah.
If you could please give an overview, it's been a little bit of a minute since we've seen you all on what has changed about your project and an overview of any variances. You have 4 minutes.
Thank you.
We'll wait until you're second.
Yeah, It's the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Okay. It's loading. Okay.
440 Taylor Avenue. Thank you for having us this evening. Drew May from Homeport, Aaron Wasserman from Homeport, Eric Sherrill is our architect at the Columbus Design Company. This is 440 Taylor Avenue, otherwise known as Pilgrim School. Go to the next slide, please.
Yeah. Yeah, you got it. Here we go. Oh my goodness. Okay, finish. Yep.
Okay.
Keep going.
One back, please.
So as Candace mentioned, it has been a bit of time since we've been here. We left this meeting in November. We had requested that we table this this proposal to come back and spend some additional time with the Woodland Park Neighborhood Association. Next slide, please.
Okay.
That was that is a comparison of the existing site versus the October proposal. If you go to the next slide, please. As over the last 6 months, we have spent several meetings with the folks from the Woodland Park Neighborhood Association and several priorities. We have communicated, we have worked through, and we have seemed to agree on. We've increased the green space for the entire community, especially on the southern side of the site. We've held the setbacks for the new buildings along Taylor Avenue to match the current western side of the Pilgrim Elementary School. We've reduced the number of apartments from 70 to 60, and we've reduced the number of overall parking spaces. And at last Monday's meeting with the Woodland Park Neighborhood Association, the neighborhood voted, and they have approved this project. Mr. Kaplan is here from Woodland Park Neighborhood Association. He can speak for himself. Yeah.
We'll have time to hear about that.
Yeah. Next slide. Okay. Those are the two zoning site plans. The first one was submitted in October. The second one is our most recent zoning site plan. We're going to go to the next one. That is a larger snapshot. You can see on the left side of the screen, that is the increased green space for all. Aaron, Karen, you guys want to
It's not the ocean view, but shown up, but yeah, yeah, no, yeah, so the area, how much more time do we have? Oh,
maybe next.
This is the area that's going to be green space for community use. We configured the building stone based on feedback from the neighborhood association. And it's the meetings we've had with them, and these are the step backs of the building space of Taylor Avenue that we're referencing. We're still planning to redevelop the school building for commercial uses, 3 of them on the ground floor, community space from the converted gymnasium of the elementary school, and then 23 apartments on the second and third floors.
Could you very quickly go through the variances requested based on the redesign?
I do not have the actual numbers in front of me, but I can tell you the general, what we're requiring for the variances. So there's two areas. There's area A and area B. Area A is a parcel that will be split that has the existing school building. Area B is the remainder of property that will be redeveloped for new construction, townhomes, and walk-up flats. So area A will require a use variance for mixed-use commercial building in an R3 district, parking variance, parking lot screening. I believe it will require a rear yard variance because it's an R3 and it has a Emerald Avenue frontage, and then a variance for refuse on an adjacent lot. So those are variances for area A. Variances for area B are similar. Use variance to allow multi-dwelling development in an R3 district. A parking variance, parking lot screening, which is primarily by the driveway as they enter Parkwood. The eastern setback, which I'm not exactly sure whether it's a perimeter yard setback, but the walk-up building that fronts the green space off of Harvard has a 0 setback off of Parkwood. So just whatever the city wants to call that, that's what it is. I want to point it out. vision clearance at the driveway. You're not allowed to have a parking spot that is in that vision clearance, so I'm citing that. And then, the rear yard perimeter yard percentage. I'm not exactly sure how they're gonna handle that in this situation. Obviously, we have a fairly substantial percentage with regard to the setbacks on Taylor and on Harvard, but on Parkwood, we would not meet the typical multifamily perimeter yard of 25 feet. So,
And your units are now at 83 units, and the parking count, am I seeing that correctly, is 94?
that is correct. So that's for the whole development. It's
Correct.
60
So I
on
think
one side.
previously it was reducing the parking required from 103 to 99, so now that would be different. Because you have a different unit.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Do you want me to try to cite the actual numbers or?
I pulled it up, I've got it.
Okay.
And you didn't miss any, so good job. Questions from commissioners?
Mine was the parking per unit that you just ended that.
Any other questions from commissioners?
What was the unit count before?
So,
70 new construction plus 23 within the existing schools. 90.
Other questions from commissioners? Okay, I'd like to open it up to community members. Woodland Park.
Joe Weingart, community member, District 2 Zoning Committee. First, I want to point out, because this project was tabled in November, you guys are supposed to vote to take it off the table, particularly. Secondly, I want to say that this should have gone back to on-site hearing because there have been significant changes to the on-site plan. And also, we did hear them at Monday's meeting this past week, but they were supposed to bring elevations and whatever else they were supposed to bring, and they did not. I feel that this is inappropriate that they're even here. I mean, we want to give everybody their fair time, but there's a procedure and a process to this, and I am the oldest serving person on this commission as a community member. And I'm seeing things that are setting a new precedent that is not appropriate. And this should have gone back to on-site before it came to Channel 5. That's all I have to say.
We should go ahead and vote to, that's my mistake. We should vote to untable. Can I please have a motion to untable the case for? No, this would be the whole general body.
Bring it back on the table.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Okay. I thank you for bringing that to our attention. Chair, thoughts on, it has been a very long time. I mean, the votes that we have from previous,
So correct me if I'm wrong, the variances did change then from when they were previously with us in November?
the way they're approaching the variances seems to have changed, but the variances themselves are the same. Fundamentally, what I'm seeing from the application.
So variances are the same, zoning committee approved said variances. That means they're good as is.
Because the reality is this happens frequently, that, you know, we're really just approving variances, we're not an architectural standards. So, okay. All right. Yes.
My name is Scott Franklin. I am representing the Park Neighborhood Association. So we were asked to produce a standardized recommendation form. So I just wanted to read it, which cites the vote. So on Monday, May 11th, 2026, the Woodland Park Neighborhood Association met and reviewed the proposed site plan for the Fulton School located on Taylor Avenue between Harvard and Emerald Avenue. The proposed provide no elevation renderings for the variety of buildings being suggested for the site, and significant questions remain regarding walkways, especially on the south east 24 unit. Landscaping for this for the green space provided for public access and setbacks on Parkwood, in addition to parking spots and apartment unit ratios. As such, the WPNA held a specific and limited vote to support the south end of the property, 87-foot setback on the 87 feet from the existing sidewalk. From Harvard to the minimum to do the minimum encroachment for buildings to be constructed, and further support the building construction setback equal to the alignment of the current Pilgrim School, so equal alignment to here. The WPNA further supported limited parking development on the front end of the school on the north side, so this is new parking development. This vote of support provided functional borders for the area of development to the site and allowed for parking expansion. This vote did not provide comment on overall support for proposed buildings, number of apartment units, described parking, or style of buildings, and etc. So I wanted to say that it's been a long road, and I think everyone who has been in this commission has sort of witnessed my participation and theirs throughout this. I think we finally hit a stride that is encouraging. I think that there's still some more discussions and some issues that need to be resolved. Like, we don't know what any of these buildings look like. We don't know, these are questions posed in advance of the meeting. We don't know what the interaction is between a public green space in this building that has no walkways. We originally had sort of asked for, proposed that this building be put here so that this kept that sort of continuity surrounding it, but we're really pleased with the fact that they incorporated issues like the setback and the public green space. So we're really supportive of those types of supportive engagements with the community. But there's big questions on what this looks like, the materials, the heights, the all of those things. And again, are people that are here going to be going right up against this building? And I think the answer is probably going to be no. And then I think they're going to say, well, now we need the landscape all the way back out to here. So I have some hesitations, but we're pleased with where we are. And if these things are going to be respected, the setback here and here, and we can have a community park and not encroaching on Taylor Avenue, we're excited about that. So thank you for your time.
Do you have elevations that you can share? Where are we at with the elevation question?
It's been a bit of a bad dash to arrive at a successful site plan. The buildings that are represented on the site plan are very similar to the elevations for both the townhome style buildings and the walk-up style building that were presented in November. I think I can probably pull them up and just show my iPad, but I mean, so those wouldn't be precisely representative of these buildings,
But it would be indicative of the style or the intent.
yes.
I think that Woodland Park is clearly wants to see them. I think it would be beneficial to share that information.
Yes,
Well,
I showed those at the meeting.
Those have been
It's
shared.
not what you're looking for.
The only thing that we saw was a picture of McDowell Place in Franklin. But we have not seen anything of what this actual site is going to look like in form of materials in correlation to the neighborhood.
Can you answer the question about the type of materials intended to be used?
Yes, the original design was for a mix of stone, brick and siding.
And these were shared in October, and they were shared in March, and they were shared on Monday night.
Yeah, just making sure the ones that were shared. So this is the style of the building.
Is that, you said that's the style of building, is this a rendering of building?
This is an elevation of the previous floor plan. There's been some slight dimensional changes, maybe some reorganization of the patio or of the front porches, but for the most part, this is, as she said, indicative of what the building will.
Do you have additional photos as to, I mean, this is black and white. Why don't you have what it will actually look like? Materials or what have you.
It's, brick and stone inside. We haven't gotten to the point where we've actually selected the manufacturer and color of materials yet.
So, I mean, I understand that that's part of the process. Can you talk us through your intended timeline? I mean, if you're still working on design.
Yeah, I mean, I think, we've had a lot of iterations of the site plan and a lot of, back and forth with the neighborhood association. So, maybe, I'd say we hesitated to at least through that process, prepare a new version of renderings or a new version of elevations with every version of the site plans, because sizes and locations and, buildings were changing. So yeah, some of we came here tonight to give an update to NEAC as part of continuing the process. So we can, now that we've settled on a site plan, now lock in or further refine, the presentation on renderings and building materials and, those sorts of details.
Sure, I mean, my question was more on, schedule for your project, right? So obviously, there's a lot that goes into this project. If I'm remembering correctly, you had to split it up because of ownership stuff between the two buildings. Is that still?
That's still the plan, yes.
Yes.
Just different financing with sort of reusing the
Different
school building
financing.
versus new construction, yeah.
So when are you planning on going for permits and starting construction? What's the schedule plan there?
We would like to prepare and submit our historic taxpayer application in August
Okay.
and September of this year. We would have liked to have submitted the new construction component of it to the Ohio Housing Finance Agency, but we have deferred that to either later this year or early next.
So there's still time, I guess, is kind of what I'm hearing, is that, you guys, the project is still alive, you're still moving it forward, but you're not ready to break ground this summer or fall, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, we agree.
Okay. I think the other thing that I would like to make sure to clearly state is that NEAC always wants open dialogue with the civics. And it's not just go to one meeting and get feedback, especially for a large impactful project like this. Having a good relationship with the neighbors is so key to the overarching success. So I appreciate the dialogue that you're having, and I would encourage you to continue that dialogue. There's another question.
So I just want to state that I spoke affirmingly with the developing relationship between myself and our organization. And I think the things that you could hear in the statements that were made sort of challenges the veracity of their approach to what's going on. They said we presented plans to you, and then somebody else says, well, we don't even have plans. We got this thing. So I think that's the type of emblematic engagement that we've been having, and we're hopeful that it will change. You see a series of different buildings there. I would ask if they will prove is in the pudding. What type of project elevations did you present to us on Monday? Since you just said you presented them to us.
The exact same ones I just showed.
So you didn't do any printouts, you didn't do anything. You're saying you called something up and then you walked it around to people.
I understand that you understand. Typically when we see elevations, they're colored elevations. What you walked around is not the standard that we've typically seen when we're talking about elevations to get a look and feel for a project. Yes, sir.
The other thing I would point out is, as we are appreciative, Pilgrim has sat vacant since 2004. And this is one of the largest parcels in our neighborhood. And I mean, this is pretty much all that was presented. I mean, they had some other stuff, variances, but this is pretty much all that was shown to us. And as zoning committee, we have always seen renderings, elevations, everything at the committee meetings when we vote on these. So I don't understand how it got to this point without seeing renderings and elevations of what the neighborhood is going to be stuck with when this is done. Because at the end of the day, we appreciate Home Court and what they represent, but this is our neighborhood, this is where we live, and we have to drive by it and see it every day. So, I mean, we are grateful that they gave us some green space for the kids in the neighborhood, but, I mean, this shouldn't have got to this point. This should have been rented at any.
All right, final comments from Woodland Park, and then I'd like to open it up to any other committee.
Yeah, question.
Yes.
So I've seen you all plenty of times in my 4 years. So I'm curious, what was your goal for tonight in coming?
I think the goal for tonight was to take the temperature of the commission, and hopefully proceed towards a vote, so that we can have confidence moving forward, preparing applications for the various funding sources that are required. That takes time, and zoning has to be in place for those applications to even occur. As you might be aware, with council recesses being changed and things like that, it's just always kind of a crapshoot. So having the having the vote of recommendation here tonight helps us move forward in that aspect. It doesn't by any means stop the communication between the home board and this commission, as well as with the park.
Yeah. So
sorry if I could add, just in terms of taking the temperature. Yeah, we were here to give an update because it had been 6 months. We may have, I think, made at least some progress with the neighbor association.
Yeah.
And if the commission prefers that we continue to work on renderings or something, for some time in return, that is also okay.
So one thing that's common about an Oreo is the cookies are the same on each end. Your cookie looks much different than what the cookie which you're suggesting. You're saying you just come to get the temperature, and you plainly stated that you're seeking to get approval so that the process and things like that can move forward.
Sure.
Now you already know how to come correctly to this general body. But give all of us the renderings and so forth so that we can see the project and so forth. And that's the same expectation that you are to do when you approach the civic associations and things like this. Now, I understand timelines are important and all, but I'm just not understanding the urgency to come to us for an update in May, but then also approval of variances in May. It just doesn't seem like there's alignment. Because what I would hate for us to do tonight, again, I'm not chairing this portion, I would hate to table this again until you all came back with everything else, and that just continues to delay the actual progress and getting applications and things like that submitted and so forth. And so, again, I don't control what will happen tonight, but I just wish that you probably would have just came with what the site plans and everything else would have looked like. And if whenever you did talk to Woodland Park prior, is probably having it with them too, because when they meet and so forth. So then you really came to us with a finished product with a bow on top, and we would have been good. So that I don't think any comments are needed back on this, because I don't want to delay this meeting anymore. But you had something?
I'm just hearing community feedback and having been here for your previous, like just the general body for vote. I think it's pretty obvious you should meet the expectations of the civic come to them with all of the information, a complete application, come to us with a complete application, and then we would vote. That seems to me like the next best step. I don't know what it's.
Commissioner Hall.
Yeah, I mean, this property's been beaten up over and over and over again. So it feels to me, and this is just my opinion, and I don't claim to be smarter than anyone else in this room, that we are kind of punishing a good developer partner in the neighborhood who we've not had problems with in the neighborhood on the Near East side for redesigning their site plan, which there was a comment made earlier that they should come with a site plan. There's a site plan clearly in front of us. So we've added in, they have taken into, their own internal processes, the comments that were made from the neighborhood association. And then we're complaining that we don't have elevations or elevations that have color in them, because this developer has chosen to modify their site plan. And I'll be quiet here in a moment, but I don't remember Nuveen changing a single thing in their site plan for us at all. And they got much less scrutiny over their property on a much larger parcel, much denser parcel. And so it is a little, I'm not frustrated, I'm just a little shocked that the conversation seems to be one in which a vote is seemingly not going to happen. I'm certainly not a developer, but the cost of things continues to go up and we're asking for materials. Those are things that have to be taken into account, especially on a LIHTC transaction, a local housing tax credit transaction, where every penny and cent count, and the IRS wants to know it, where every penny and cent and dollar went. And so I guess I am humbly and trying to encourage this commission to not be overly developer friendly, but not to be not to have a stance that gets in the way of development that is good. I don't know. There was a comment earlier that was made that we don't know what we're going to be stuck with. We've seen Homeport's work across Columbus. We've seen the intent of the stylistic decisions that they are going to make on the property. And it feels to me that we are punishing a developer for considering the request in actually modifying their site plan, which again has not happened with other, very, very large scale out of town developers. That's all I have to say. And I say that as respectfully as I can.
There is a precedent with this
Oh,
commission.
hold on.
Point of order.
Hold on.
Please make sure that you're following a point of order. We have other Commissioner Rice,
Yes, my question is, given that you have modified the project, you're gonna have to resubmit it to city planning for approval, and that requires a second staff review. And I'm sort of uncomfortable with the notion that this plan hasn't been looked at by the city yet. And so we don't have their feedback on what you propose. So that's kind of my concern.
I do got 2 cents to put in. And, for me, simplicity. I respect the civic's feedback, but I really, in my opinion, feel that we should move forward with a vote, given that whatever the colors and all that, the aesthetics, before they even, that be a conversation that continue to be had, that the civic is involved with what it will look like. But for the sake of getting the project approved and moving forward, I just think we should move forward.
I do think it's important for us to remind ourselves that we're voting on the variances, which have to do with parking, which have to do with setbacks, which have to do with density, that we do not have architectural standards as part of our charge. It is a nice to have. It is a good faith thing that we we request, and that's why we have a planning committee. But what we ultimately are voting on at our general body meetings are the variances as proposed. Other comments from commissioners?
And I just quickly respond to Chair Rice's comment about the staff report. I mean, obviously, yes, staff will have to look at the site plan again. And if something were to change materially in the way that, for example, if staff had a problem with the head-end parking on Emerald and we no longer have those 16 spaces, we would have to come back with revised variances to you folks for another vote, and we would not be able to proceed for permitting without that. So there's a, you know, there's a bit of a fail state there that if staff has something that changes this site plan materially, we have to come back and have another chat with you folks. Not that we won't anyway, but yeah, just wanted to make that clear.
I appreciate that. Any other comments from commissioners? Community comments, final community comments?
I will add that there is a precedent with this commission that every developer presents elevations and renderings of what they are presenting to the community in which they are developing. Thank you.
I agree that that precedent has been set and those elevations were in fact presented when planning voted for this project. So we have continued with that precedent.
Then why were we not presented at Monday's meeting to the citizens what this building is going to look like? They just keep ping-pong back and forth about what it's going to look like, and this is the only thing we were shown.
At this time, I'm gonna ask for a motion. Any type of motion will do. What are we feeling? Move forward. So a motion to move forward, or a motion to approve would be what you're, yeah, okay. So I have a second. All in favor to approve?
Hold on. You need to state the motion.
I had Sir Humphrey state the motion to move forward with the variant for the proposed site at Pilgrim.
Okay. All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All opposed? Abstentions? 1, 2, 3 abstentions. Okay, motion carries. We would like to respectfully ask that you remain engaged. Please continue to talk with the neighbors. They're very clear in their request. They would like to know what this building is going to look like. They would like to be a partner with you in figuring out what these buildings are going to look like. This is a cornerstone of the neighborhood that they want to be successful just as much as you do. Please engage in good faith and continue to keep them abreast of your plans.
Made that promise on Monday. Thank you.
I would also like to ask when you set your schedule for the building, come back to the commission and actually present what you're doing in the timeline. It's a major project. It'd be great to understand how it's going to unfold.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots and lots of steps in the process for the running of both of these kind of separate projects. So we'll, and many more reams of paper was be spent in creating renderings and elevations for all of those other purposes, and we will bring them all back.
You can send them digitally. You can put it right up on the screen. Yeah, you don't got to print. Yeah.
So you have the form, please make sure you send it to the planner. When you send it to them, please copy us so that we know that it got submitted.
Yep.
And thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, I thought we were missing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Yep, yep.
All right, next up is 470 to 476 North Champion.
Thank you. We'll be back. Appreciate it.
Good evening. Do you have any things for us to put up or papers to hand out?
No.
Okay.
I have everything in present in terms of the site plan and elevations.
I can see it was in the email, but yeah, you can go. Mhm.
All right. Can you please talk about your project and include the variances that you're requesting? For
Variants are going to be, from a single family to multi-family. 2 lots, that will be developed to multi-families, and the plan is to do 3 and 2.5 baths.
Okay. Pulling up the information now.
You saying 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths?
Yes.
So how many?
Stadium.
2 units?
Yeah. Yes. Total of 4 doors.
So there's 2 buildings.
On 2 separate lots.
Oh.
So 2 duplexes.
And before I go, one thing, we got a, bidding for the 3rd lot. The city owns that 3rd lot. They want to see the development of the first 2 before we go forward.
Is it a landing?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Questions from the commission? Questions from the commission?
I remember when we reviewed this, there were some comments about the windows, and trying to make it look more matching the architectural style of, earlier in the 19th century. Did you take any of those comments to, and make any changes, or is this still it's really the front of the building?
I talked to the committee, Bronxville, representative, and architects on the phone with one of the representatives, gentlemen. And so we're going to address windows, and we wanted to address you guys' response. That's strong enough also.
Other commission questions or comments? So that open it up to community. Sir?
Yes, David Mason, Bronxville Neighborhood Association. So Bronxville had communication with the builder developer and the architect. And we did suggest changes on the front elevation. So the windows would be similar to the windows on the side elevations, the large windows. It would be the same window, the same 2 windows butting beside each other. So you keep the same head height that you drop the sill, do that on the 1st and 2nd floor. And the architect was amenable to those changes. And then we also made a recommendation that the exit out, emergency exit out of the downstairs bedrooms into the outdoor well in front of the house needs to be at the back of the house. And the architect is willing to consider doing that. And our concern was those wells, when they're at the front of the house, in Linden, there's several cases like that, and they can become a trap for trash, and they become overgrown, and they become kind of an eyesore when you're on the street, walk by and see them. Whereas if they're in the back, they're not obvious to the community, but it still saves the same purpose. So the architect, the builder, thought that made sense. So they're considering moving things, which they is in the process. And also made a recommendation to do whatever color but black.
And we like the builder, developer, he's done a nice project in the neighborhood already on Long Street, so he has a track record in the neighborhood. And we want to encourage developers that want to do things on both sides.
Any other community questions or comments? All right, at this time, I'll entertain a motion.
I so move to approve the variances site plan and request.
All in favor? All right. All opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion carries. You will have a signed form here that the chair is handing you. You need to give this form to your planner and make sure when you email it to your planner that you copy us so that we know you got it. Awesome, thank you so much. All right, next up is 155 South Ohio. Do you have any of these documents or things for us?
They were included with the application.
Perfect, thank you.
Yep.
So same deal, please talk about your project. There are people here who haven't heard about it before, and tell us about the variances you're requesting.
Alex Nickdis, architect for Sunnyside Street Studio here. So today's proposal here is that we're requesting a variance to formally split 3 existing lines that are currently governed by a driveway easement. So you see the L-shaped there. You can maybe zoom out a little bit. The parcel here is 155 South Ohio. We've got 1105 Oak Street and 1101 Oak Street. This existing driveway easement here, we're looking to change the property line to more clean up the parcels into 3 distinct parcels. This is already in agreement with the use agreement, so this is just merely formalizing an existing condition. There's a number of variances included on the application, which really just bring existing conditions into conformance. No new constructions proposed as well.
Perfect. They did attend the OTINA meeting last night, and OTINA was in support of the project. Are there questions from commissioners or comments? Any community questions or comments? All right, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Any abstentions? It's unanimous. Thank you so much. You have our recommendation form. We'll send to your planner. Please make sure that you copy us to the planner. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right, our final piece for the evening is 1258 Oak Street.
Check. I went ahead and emailed it to you. Yeah. So you'll have it as a file. Thank you. Well, thank you, Bob. Thank you so much, love. I appreciate you. If you could, elevation first, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Good afternoon.
We'll wait for him to pull
Okay.
out.
Yeah, let it pull out.
But
Okay.
same instructions as everybody else. Not everyone has seen this project before, so please talk about the project.
Okay.
Give an overview and include the variances that you're requesting and you all set for.
Really? Okay. Let me just do this quickly because I think it's important. First of all, my name is Kenny Wilson. I've lived in Columbus area for a long time. Worked for Cardinal Health for many years. I'm a North Carolinian though, but then we have a strong connection to Ohio State. Buckeyes. I've had 2 kids go there. One was a 2-time All-American there, and then Shane from Ohio University. One kid went to Bowling Green. We love Ohio. We spent a lot of time here. We love the city, and so I need to tell you why it's important for us to do this. And it's not just about the what's. Sometimes it's about the why. And I want to make sure that I tell you that because I think it's important. For me first, personally, it's a family thing. I decided to go into real estate because he lived in this area. Told me up in it. So there was something that he wanted me to do with him, and that was going to cost me money, but which is pretty usual for 5 kids. I got 5 kids, so it's pretty good. That's not unusual. I did it because I wanted to have a reason to spend time with my son. I have 5 kids. I was trying to find a reason to spend time with all of them. and for various reasons, this is why I got involved with this, and it's just really grown into something. I am a minority. I take tremendous pride in that. It's a very diverse community. It's important for us to show what can be done, what we believe can be done, along with the fact that I want to show my 4 sons and my daughter that we can accomplish things, we can do things. I take that very personally, and it's one of the reasons why, after career in corporate America, this is why one of the reasons why I'm doing this at this point in my life. And then, I love the city. I told you that we've been in Columbus and have been around Columbus for a number of years, and Shay lives in the community. So we're not carpetbaggers. We're not people just coming in to do this. This is something that we've been involved in for a while. And I think I told you I had kids with school in Ohio, 2 who went to Ohio State. And one at Bowling Green. Did you go to Bowling Green?
No.
Did you? Okay, very good. And by the way, we know this. There's a tremendous need in the community, and we know that, and we think we see great opportunity there, and that's why we're here. I think it's just important to tell you that it's not just about the what sometimes, it's about the why. I want you guys to know why we're doing this. So, Jay, any technical questions, anything you want to do? This is what it looks like.
This is the elevation here that we have.
So please go through how many units, site plan, all of your variances requested.
Absolutely.
And remember,
4
4
minutes
total.
Yeah.
So what did I use up too many minutes?
Yeah, you're close. You were close.
I didn't bore you though, did I? I didn't bore you.
So we have 15 apartment units, 12 townhomes, and a commercial space there. Can I go over all the variances piece by piece here? Let me do that for you. So we have a 33-1 2.49 reduced to 1.5 spaces per unit requirement to 1 parking space per unit. 33-1 2.49 reduced the 1 space per 75 square foot of dining area to 1 space with shared parking synergy. Reduced the 10 by 10 clear vision triangle at driveway street intersections to 0, 0. We got rid of that because we removed the townhome that was on the end. So now there is a clear vision triangle, and if we want to see those, I have a stamped approved copy showing the vision triangle that we have here as well. We're requesting to use the public alley as a maneuvering lane permitted with reduced turning radius, turn the alley with chamfer, reduced 10 feet original lot line to 0 with 6 private or 6'5" privacy fence, increased 35-foot height restrictions to 62. Decreased front step back from 10 feet to 0, decreased side step back to Wilson Avenue from 10 to 0, decreased side step back from 5 to 0, decreased rear step or alley from 25% of lot area to 0, and rezoning from LP1 to CPD. So essentially we're taking a parking lot that's been vacant for years and turning it into something beautiful that people can use and the community can use. Those are all the variances that we have for this project.
And you are right at 4 minutes.
Correct.
Okay. So the applicant was at Otina last night. They were not on the agenda for Otina, so Otina did not have the opportunity to hear the whole project. They proposed or talked a little bit about the project, and Otina said that for the size of this project, that they didn't have enough time allocated because they weren't on the agenda, and so there is no recommendation from Otina at this point in time, but we appreciate you going to Otina.
Absolutely, thank you.
And being there. Some of the concerns on this. Go ahead.
Did we table this last month?
Yes.
Yeah, because I want to go to Tina.
Oh.
Because I wanted to go to Tina.
Again. All right, I would like to entertain a motion to untable.
So moved, Thompson.
Second mover.
All in favor? All opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you, sorry. Okay, all right, so there's really a couple of concerns, some of which have already been addressed with the updates on the project. One of the big ones is the 5-story height of the apartment building is a concern. At the site visit, neighbors have had some concerns about the height. We have also received, there was a lot of community feedback last time that they were here. We also received a number of letters. I think Commissioner Rice can probably pull up the chart. Actually, I think I have the chart So we had a total number of 13 letters from NEAC residents, a total of 6 letters from non-NEAC residents, so that's a total of 19 letters. Of the NEAC residents, the 13, 7 of them were in support, 6 of them were in opposition. Of the non-residents, 5 were in support, 1 was in opposition. So really, community feedback is very mixed on this project. You know, I think some of the things that I've heard, people are very excited to have development on and not have another parking lot. So that's been some of it. But the concerns really surround the height, the 5-story height of the building, not to mention the density that's proposed is 75 units per acre. This is not a very large site. So at this time, I'd like to open it up for questions from the commission.
Not a question, comment. As one of the few renters on this commission, this type of development that I feel that we need in this neighborhood as a representative of District 3. And the first resident of the Yardley, my claim to fame. I think that the design is lovely. And it's this type of density that's needed to continue the economic growth that I think we've seen in the community. I really appreciated the letter from the Light Meeting House. I've met a couple commissioners there actually. It's a lovely spot.
Yeah.
It's a really lovely spot. And I like living on Parsons, you know, my spot. There's another coffee house, you know, maybe that I go to more often, but you know, it's clearly a good community meeting space. And I think their support is indicative of at least it's representative of at least how I feel in a lot of ways. So that's just all I have to say.
Commissioner Hanson.
If my memory serves me well, is this where we were talking about the height also, the underground parking?
Yeah, it's not technically underground, it's under
Right,
the building.
under the
But
building
yes,
parking, that's what I
a
mean.
big component
My
of the
apologies.
height of the overarching building is because of the height.
Because, you know, I wanted the height under the building to kind of stay the same, but I think I wanted one of the top pieces off or something. Did we, you know, like maybe that, because I was thinking it should be like the style of the frisbee, you know?
Okay, yeah, understood. I think, did we start a little higher than this and it was brought down to 62?
See, that's what
I don't know.
Right
Right now it's
There's
60.
a lot of places and I can't speak specifically to that.
Okay, I believe it's 61 now. It's so we just did 62 to make sure if there's anything that happens later on, we can accommodate, but it's 61. Yeah, and let me pull it. It is, yeah, 61, 61.
And is that the number of, that's the height, right?
That's the height, that's the
So
height.
I think we were also, thinking about, is the number of units the same?
No, we actually reduced.
Took something away, right?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, because we supposed
That's
to.
right. That's right.
Any other questions, commissioners? Answer from them?
I share the sentiments that were voiced by Commissioner Wilbur, but I would still like to hear from Tina. I really, if you would actually commit to actually getting a Tina recommendation, even if it was on it tonight, I would appreciate that.
And actually, we will be going back regardless of this vote. So we're going back. Yes. So me being the commissioner, quickly talk about that. We're coming. Yeah.
Because you're still going back to the development commission too. Or something.
That's next month.
Any other comments or questions from commissioners? Community comments?
Kevin McFadden, I live on Wilson Street directly across from the project. Could you back that slide to 1 to the nice colored picture of the village? Yeah, that. So my house is right here where those lamps are. And the problem with that rendering is that there's no sense of scale whatsoever. My house will be slightly less than half as tall as the center of that building, just like every other house up and down Wilson Street on the east side. It just, I mean, the guys did, I gotta give them credit. They went out of their way to address the problems and concerns that we brought up at the site meeting, the problem with the vision triangle at the corner, you know, and the amount of green space and everything. A lot of debate on the question of whether or not the level of parking is appropriate. My sense is no, but other projects in the neighborhood have not had that much impact on parking, except across down by the trolley. So it really is a question of scale more than anything else. And I think that something of that size is simply an urban core type of construction and not an urban residential type of construction. I know people will accuse me of having a vested interest across the street. Yeah, my life will become a nightmare for 6 to 9 months while that construction is underway. No avoidance, right? That's what happens when they build buildings that size. But it's really, I come from a long history of real appreciation for Victorian structures, and to put even something that gives a nod to the architectural style in the middle of a neighborhood of houses that are a common sort of look, it just seems inappropriate. That's all I have to say.
Sean, I'm a resident there. I really appreciate the area, like how they developing the style and everything. It might be a little bit close to his house on the construction part of the game, but once it get developed, man, it has shown, give a good facelift to that area. Like you got East Market down there, you got a tavern down there, and that right there, it just goes right along with the neighborhood. It's just developing and making the neighborhood look real good. Without that parking lot, it just look vacant and trash. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is a good development. I really support this. It's nice.
Any other questions? Yes.
I would like to add that, even though my application had the on-site tour of the overlook of the five-story section of the building, overlooking the townhomes based in Wilson, he did make some comments that we feel a little bit better to give residents screening privacy. Thank you.
Other neighbor comments?
Sorry, can you explain your comment about the screening privacy?
Yeah, do we have a site plan that kind of shows?
Absolutely, we do.
We put that up. Because our CEC.
So
if you put the one, I can find.
Oh, you do me.
You
want me to? Oh, you go. Because you know what I'm saying. So you
You explain
go
here.
back to the other.
The limit or?
This one. Okay, so this one, these units overlook these units, and I had raised concern at the site hearing about the level of privacy for these residents because he said they were going to have rooftop areas, and I was concerned about their privacy, about like all these people like looking right down on me, and he said he was going to provide some screening.
Yeah, that's right.
Can you go back to the site plan? So I think one of the things that the rendering, because of the way the elevation is, so that front where we're talking about those units, those are blue, those are a different building than the back. So we're talking about multiple buildings. And so it's just that, yeah, that rendering, the site plan tells a fuller picture. So I want to have two other comments really quickly. The first is we have developed and published, this body has developed and published our density practices, right? Where we are looking for gentle density on our interior streets, and we're looking for larger density on our main thoroughfares. This is absolutely an interior to the neighborhood, which would be looking for gentle density, not the level of density that's being proposed. And then the second is a question that I have for you. And I'm asking because I know that it's been passed around. We talked about it last night. There's a Columbus Underground article that came out a couple of days ago that states there's going to be a pool rooftop deck. Okay, so if you've read that article, that's not part of the plan.
That's it, so, no problem.
Okay, any other comments or questions?
Just for clarification, there's a project across the street that's supposed to be 4 stories. Is that what Commissioner Lawson said? Small.
No. It's actually, there's 51, they're almost like single family style, but they're one bedrooms, 51 one bedrooms across the way. It's already been permitted, but they're selling the land.
Yeah.
So they're not, no.
There's no imminent.
No, yeah, no imminent construction.
So to answer your question, across the street has been zoned and approved for 51
That's
units.
right.
Yeah.
And how they get those 51 units
To be determined.
is to be determined. So it could be 4 stories. This goes back to what we were talking about with our first case. The pretty pictures are lovely, but what we're voting on is the density. We're voting on the zoning variances that they're requesting. The reality is when they go away, they don't have to do brick. They don't have to do pretty lighting. They can make these buildings out of whatever they want. We're looking at it from a zoning perspective, and so we have to vote accordingly.
Yeah, so we approved Francis Street, 75.
Well, it's different. So it's 51 total units. Ours is 75 per acre. So there aren't 75 units that they're asking for, but because it's not a full acre, that's why we're using that. That property across the street is more than an acre, so it's not quite an apples to apples comparison. Other comments or questions?
I had a quick question. You mentioned it in terms of like addressing the issue around the green space and vision training. Clarify a little bit more about how you address that.
Absolutely. So if we go back to the rendering, that's perfect. So on the right there was a townhome that was placed, right here. We went ahead and removed it. So it was impeding people's view when they're going down Oak Street and going down the Wilson Street. Now it's no longer there. We removed it. There's a clear vision triangle. Actually, we got it reviewed and stamped by an engineer. So there's a very good vision triangle there, and a green space as well. So green space. There'll be a tree outside of the vision triangle, and people can walk their dogs and do things they want to do on there.
Is it still open for community comment?
Sure.
Similar to Alex, I live in the neighborhood. I walk here a lot. I walk down Bragg and I walk down Oak. They put some newer townhomes in the area. When those are on the street, it's a very unpleasant walk. Been in Columbus, you know how bad our drivers are. It's an unsafe spot, right? So I'm walking right next to the street. You have a dog. I don't have a dog. I don't want a dog. But when you do, they run it. That's an unsafe area to be right next to the street. And flying down, it's going to be parked on. There's going to be a lot of people there with this density. The zero step back, besides the height, seems to be.
It's not zero. Let me explain. I'm sorry, I didn't explain.
I heard zero step back. So
yeah,
I'll just finish my statement.
Okay, sure.
It seems very close to the street and not an interior neighborhood feel. When you walk down over, there's homes with fences up there and they're set back.
Yeah.
So you're walking next to trees, you're walking next to driveways. Okay. This doesn't feel like that. It feels like it's out of place.
Okay, understood. So actually, it's 2 foot setbacks with the townhomes. We addressed that because they have the same issue. That's what we addressed. Yeah. So it's 2 feet setbacks. So it's not right. And I understand what you're saying actually very well. Because it'd be weird if it was right there, but it's 2 feet back. Yeah, that is.
Other comments from the community or commission? Questions? Okay. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So, Chris, second over. You want it?
All right, all in favor? All opposed? Abstentions? 2. All right, motion passes. You'll have an A1, 2. There's a letter here that the chair has, a recommendation letter. You will give it to your planner, and please make sure you copy us so that we know that they've got it.
Sure, Commissioner, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Yes.
All right, that is all for the zoning committee this evening, Chair.
Thank you. Okay.
Excuse me? I think we'd like to keep the
No.
whisper.
Yeah.
I'm sure you got something.
Yeah. I got
so. But I think.
I mean, for your next meeting.
Thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely. You may. Yes. Do you want to keep this chair?
Oh, you can take it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We should do that.
They're great people.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'll see you next.
You're well, they're great.
Okay.
Next time.
All right.
How are you?
Good, good. Thank you, thank you.
I will do that. I'm sorry. Thank you so much.
You want to give it back or you want to keep it?
I think okay.
Yeah, please.
All right. So now we'll move on to,
That meeting's still on.
So stay talking.
You're just talking.
Oh, I apologize.
thank you. Okay, so that concludes zoning. We'll move on to community engagement. I'm gonna hijack it from Jackson real quick. Okay, so can Miss Braxton, can you please come up? So to give context, Miss Braxton is the neighbor here in the community. Oh, thank you. There it is. Yes, resident here in the community. And she lives specifically on Johnson Street. Okay. And with the increased amount of traffic and just overall, with the hospital being there and so forth, there's caused a lot of parking congestion and things like that.
Yes.
And so she is coming tonight to share more about those parking concerns on her street and how it affects her and other residents on that street. An effort for us to garner support for the city to institute a parking study, which will then be able to control the density and so forth of the parking and the effects that the University Hospital has for residents like Ms. Braxton. So Ms. Braxton has a presentation. Let's see if I can get it. Bam! There it is. So it's
Make this up under 4 minutes.
all right. So yeah, if you could just introduce yourself,
Yes.
and I'm gonna try to get this up so it works for the neighborhood. So
Yes, like number 1. So the reason why we're here, of course, is to have a proposal for a residential permit for a parking study. Been a long time resident of on Johnson Street in the Lincoln, King Lincoln, Bronzeville area for many, many years. Our family home is 106 years old. So I grew up in the neighborhood, went to school in the neighborhood, and I have seen the expansion of the hospital. And with that expansion of the hospital and other things going on, it has directly affected the parking situation on Johnson Street tremendously. This has been going on for years. And so I have with me today also Miss Annie Marisco. Yes, thank you. Who is representing Iowa State, OSU. So I'm going to give her a chance as well to verify that she understands what's going on. So the core issue on slide number 2, the conflict residents face a severe lack of access to their own homes due to high volume non-resident parking. And it creates a critical shortage of parking spaces for us on that street. So we're talking about from Feldy Hill all the way to Granville Street going north. It's a 2-way street. The street is extremely narrow. Okay, and a lot of the residents on that street, we have no parking in the back, And the issue comes in when the employees and contractors from OSU East, they come and take our parking. So if I were to move, for example, go to the grocery store, I come back, I have no parking. And this has been very, very frustrating for the residents as well. And it creates a safety issue because we have to park either another street over or park way down the block, carry groceries and things like that. So it's really, it's really frustrating. And the time it takes that they're there, we're talking from 7 a.m. all the way up to 4 to 5 p.m. where those employees and contractors are taking our spots. So some of my residents had to leave early. They were here, my neighbors, I should say. The collaboration, the identified source, once again, is the influx of vehicles attributed to OSU East Hospital, staff, employees, and contractors. We have at times confronted some of the contractors, put flyers on their cars to say, hey, you know, be mindful, be considerate of us as neighbors because we have no other options. So we also have individuals who have disabilities and things like that. It makes it hard for them as well to navigate, you know, parking. We just think a formal shift in parking behavior to redirect hospital-related traffic to designated institutional lots rather than residential curbside. So you as well have seen the issue. If you want to say a few words real quick.
Yeah. So this is a known issue for us. We've tried our best to make sure that our employees know that they are not supposed to park there. We have enough employee parking. Correct. That's not an issue. We have sent out emails. We have one employee who has actually gone and written down license plates to try to figure out who they were. And it's just something that we can't control because it is a public street. There's nothing that we don't have any enforcement power for it. And so we've worked together, and what we were told was the best option would be to have this traffic study. We want to support it as much as we can. So.
And as you can see with the slides and the next slide as well, this is Johnson Street facing north, and I already spoke about the impact. And I took these pictures. These pictures were taken at like 10 o'clock in the morning. And as you can see in front of my house, for example, you see contractors getting out of their cars. You know, they don't even care. They're taking our spots. And the contractor vehicles, trucks, you know, SUVs and all that. So that it creates a huge problem for us. And on the Beldie Hill Drive, which intersects there at Johnson Street, there is permit parking there because there are a few houses on that street. And I just wanted to take this picture because I'm thinking, why can we not have some sort of parking restriction for us as residents? Thank you. Okay, so I took a picture of the OSU West lot, and this is at 10 a.m. in the morning. And as you can see, there are lots of available slots for these individuals to park. However, for their convenience, they rather park in front of our homes for our inconvenience. So as you can see, that's another picture of the West lot. Contractors. So proposed actions is basically, it's a formal request that we have to the NEAC that we have request the city, some sort of solution to this issue, this ongoing issue. So the goal is to implement a residential permit parking zone for us as residents. And as you can see, there are more slides there. So that's the proposed actions. That's slide number 10. Am I almost at 4 minutes? Okay. So once again, that's basically it in a nutshell. You know, there's nothing more else I can say to stress this huge issue. You know, the hospital's growing, but you know, I understand OSU East wants to be happy. You know, wants to have happy neighbors in the area, but also we just need to get this problem solved because it has been going on for quite some time. And I just want to say thank you so much for allowing me to come and hear our voices on behalf of my neighbors on Johnson Street.
Thank you. I'll now allow, comments or questions for Ms. Jackson from members of the commission, and then we'll move to the community. That's all you're in for, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Just out of, like, it's kind of a, I have a couple questions. One, first one for OSU is, does it cost money for employees to park in that lot?
It's the one place, I think
It's
that,
free.
that is, if you were on campus, you would have to pay, but at OSU's you do.
Right, that is how I remember it when I worked there, so it's free. How confident are you, not that it changes my opinion, but I guess I am curious since you're here helping advocate for this parking study. How sure are we that like the contractors and the employees that are parking there are in fact contractors and employees of OSU?
Oh, for sure, beyond shadow
They
of
are.
a doubt, because I watch this every single
I
day.
believe you, I just
Yeah.
like, just out of
Get right out of
curiosity,
the
because
car.
I don't understand the.
So I think the main issue, especially, I can't speak to why the employees necessarily park there, but for the contractors, we're having a lot of construction, that it is the closest for them to park there and work. So that's where the construction is located, is why it's
Yeah, Commissioner Chris, and then Hans Humphrey.
I just have a comment, and I made this the last time, is that I think maybe permit parking is great, but I don't really know how it works. So that's I think doing the study is perfect. I think we should 100% do that. I guess what I would recommend is looking at how people that live in areas that have parking permits, how that works out. Just because I think what my kind of thing to consider was, because you said having people over as guests, you would request additional permits or something. What if someone requests all the permits? And then you're in the same situation, but now they're legally doing it. I mean, and they're legally doing it now too. So I'm just food for thought. I mean, I traffic study 100%. I wish there, you know, and I had also suggested to OSU that they put something in their a contract with contractors that they cannot, if they don't park on grounds, then that is a fine from OSU for their company. I don't know if that's legal or not either, but OSU's got a lot of attorneys that could figure that out.
I think I have is it my turn?
Yep, go ahead.
I think that, it's a wonderful idea to do the study, but I wanted to know, like, really what was your ask? I understand you said permit parking, but, in addition to permit parking, I don't know how that will work. I don't see how that will work. But I'm thinking, you know how the city put the signs up? Maybe, handicap parking only? They can do signs that say for residents only on this street, because I wouldn't dare, like I wouldn't want to go to the grocery store and come back and cannot get in my house. Like, I wouldn't want to park down the street. I wouldn't want to park around the corner. So, I'm sure they can't widen the street because of all that other stuff. So I would probably, in addition, ask that they put signs there for residents only. I don't know if it's a temporary thing that might need to happen, but the study is definitely needed because I go down Johnson every day and I always say, I don't know how nobody can live in the street because it's congested. There's no, like, it would drive me nuts. It would like have to be one car per house up there. So kudos to you. Good luck. But you should definitely put some more ask in there, like some real solutions driven requests in addition to your stuff.
And Commissioner Williams.
Would it be appropriate for the commission to write a letter of support for the traffic study?
Yeah, so that's the formal ask tonight. Yeah. So we've done a letter of support for a traffic study before. So it would be the same kind of request. And Ms. Ovia will guide me as to whom to send that to and so forth. But that is the formal ask for us as a commission. Yeah.
Sorry,
So
so
we'll
we, there's also like a mechanism through the city for a special permit parking zone,
Mhm.
which a traffic study is needed. It's part of that process, and it's a long process, it's bureaucratic, it's part of the deal here. But it might be something to pursue as well, because that would restrict non-residents from parking there for specific periods of time.
Yes.
And fine, sir, that's what I figured, but I just wanted to be sure.
Commissioner Kruger.
I will just echo what Commissioner Chris was saying. I know that, like, for example, German Village has parking permits. This year, they implemented that the residents have to pay for the permits, and that if you want a guest, you have to pay for a guest pass. I would just say, make sure you understand what you're asking for before, all of that. And then the reason I asked him, or the chair to put the picture up, because I wanted to make sure that wasn't one of my guys. There was a P and I was worried. It's not, but I will say that, as someone who works for a company that does work with OSU, we don't want to not do work with OSU. So the traffic study is going to take a very long time, and you have a nice relationship with the residents. There are things that the contracting, you might need to have a conversation with the FOD project manager about getting to the contractors and telling them they need to not be parking on the residential streets. That will be so much faster and more impactful than the bureaucracy that we're going to go through. So I just wanted to offer that up as somebody who lives in that world. And I know that we routinely have those type of requests when we work on main campus and things like that. So there should not be different rules if you're working at East Hospital as opposed to main campus.
So out of curiosity, how long would the study actually?
Do you know?
Wow, yeah, it's gonna take, it just depends on the firm, I think, as well, I'm sure there's a price for expediency, right?
And I don't know what the backlog is for the city,
Yeah. These are all the factors. And I also want to jump in, my name, obviously, this for the traffic study, but it does not guarantee, right, that they would, but it's just kind of taking that, and stuff like that, but it's something that this direction is asking the commission, because this is supposed to be, those were supposed to be the department parking management. It's a part of the process is to get this something from the commission to start that, but definitely appreciate the dialogue that y'all are giving represent as well as all the students to move forward.
Any more commissioners?
I just have one more question. Have you guys reached out to the Nationwide Children's Hospital about this?
I don't think so.
It might be useful. Having been there for years, they have implemented residential parking passes all around the hospital. And I know for a fact that that has stopped employees and people who shouldn't be parking there from parking there. Different from OSU though, they have to pay for parking now. So you guys have a free alternative that hopefully will incentivize, but just an idea.
No, that's a great idea. Maybe talk to my
They might be able to
there.
speak to timelines of traffic studies and all of that if they had to go through this.
That's that I frequently goes to the VA, something that they had to implement because they have a north lot where they even built a parking garage specifically for employees, and they gave away their own entrance because patients were having to walk a far distance just to get to the building, that they tasked their police force to first warn employees that they could park either in the garage or the north employee lot. If they continue to do that behavior, the VA police were authorized to either boot or tow the car.
That's good.
All right. Oh, yes.
Well, the commissioner's suggestions about expedient ways to have an impact in possibly in parallel to more exalted effort of trying to get the city to do anything for you, you run the risk of being the dog on the call. Because if your changes result in a measurable but short-term improvement in the situation, the parking study says, "Whoa, with that, there's no problem." So you want to balance one with the other, and at the end of the day, I find it sort of entertaining that we're perceiving in a really residential neighborhood that a parking restriction of one car per household is onerous. Yet in these large scale developments that we're approving right and left, that's the norm. So I don't get the dichotomy.
So, Ms. Brox, I know originally when you had reached out to us in March, we CC'd PACT, Dana Dorsey. You also have OSG represented today. What I can guarantee is we can, fulfill your request in writing a letter of recommendation for issuing a. Oh, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm more than happy to take my time. I was going to say, as someone who has worked in construction, specifically in regards to OSU, in the mindset of a construction worker, they're trying to get there before they get called. I think that's the most common thing. And the other thing is that usually when it comes to construction workers, depending on the trade that they have, which I don't know with OSU, you're going to have to contact with the project manager to see what contractors are there. 9 times out of 10, it's either the people with large vans that got their own tools that are coming out there, or it's the person that's bringing in their own tools. And sometimes those tools come from about 5 pounds to 50 pounds. And in all honesty, as much as I want to make sure you have a parking spot, I am not going to look 45 pounds down like 1 mile of street. But I will also say is that, first question is, I know that this was happening last month. Was there any changes? Was there any updates? Did you contact the contractor, project manager for anything about that? Or is it still an ongoing issue?
It's still an ongoing issue, no matter how many times I, put something on the car or whatever, they don't care.
Okay. Second thing is that I know that I have worked, last time I have worked in OSU Western Medical Center, the outpatient hospital. And I remembered when they had insured parking for the employees, they made sure that the contractor or the general contractor that is in that site ensured that the person who comes in there, they have to give you your license plate. And that is specifically so that way, once they go to the parking garage, they make sure that they stay in that parking garage. If there's any other place, any other site out there that says that, hey, this guy is currently parking on this end and not that end, checking his parking license, they can either A, take that car and tow it away, or B, bill them for that. And that is not directly to the general contractor, but bill them directly to the employee. So if you, I'm pretty just contact the project manager and what she says in order to ensure that that can happen. But the other thing is that regarding of the construction, I want to know what's the update in regards to that construction, what's currently going on with that. Because it might also be where there might be like it's like a revolving door. Whereas like one day, if it's like, okay, so it's like a plumber, we have to go fix up a few piping for the hospital. That's like a 2-day, 3-day thing. And then they pack up and then they leave. But sometimes it's in one of those days where it's like, yeah, this is a massive, like, we have to build this for a year. And we're going to always have to be that way. Now, I'm not saying that, that's just how the cookie crumbles. As a person who's dealing with parking spots my own end, I personally agree with you. But what I am trying to say is, again, as much as I'm saying it, but also what she's saying it, get with the project manager so that way they can get with the contractors and get with the general contractors so that way they can enforce that for you. Enforce that. You already got a letter of recommendation from, planning?
Yeah.
NEAC, and you already got the endorsement of OSU. You have a representative right there. So just get with the project manager and they can immediately get it done quick. And if there's any other, if you take a picture of their license plate saying, hey, this guy is still parking at our garage, still parking on our end, already gone. And I would say that for OSU, I don't know, I would, for like the North Garage, was it? Is that the North Garage?
I was referencing the VA clinic.
Okay. But if there's any other additional parking, yeah, just, force them for them. Maybe our police officer, the Midwest safety.
Police substation right across the street.
So, we'll work on getting you that letter in your inbox by, next week, but you've heard lots of suggestions and inputs today when it comes to, contacting project managers and things like that. I understand that it is frustrating. The reality is OSU should be the one that's monitoring it. I'm seeing Columbus Public Utilities ticketing people on Long Street now in a record number that I've never seen before. They pulled up behind my vehicle. I said, you better get the hell off. But again, it's the city enforcing some of these things, and so OSU could probably do the same too on their end. But I will update Dana Dorsey as well, and to see if there's anything that Pat can write on your behalf too, and then we'll try to work together on this, and hopefully OSU said they want to be a good neighbor. Let's see if we can honor that even with our guests that might be out of our control. Yes.
Can I just say, I just want to thank you for doing this, for doing it.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Are the Commissioner Kowski, you got anything? Yes. Commissioner Kowski, go ahead.
This past week at the Community Engagement Committee meeting, we did have a guest speaker from Columbus Public Health Department, Family Engagement Program, Mr. Jerome DeCarlo II.
Jerome DeCarlo.
Yeah. Who talked about the good work that their team does in the community. They're very boots on the ground, in schools and other public spaces to help offer discreet support in people in challenging scenarios from a range of things, from safety to just resources that a person might need. And they have a lot of great events that are available in the minutes. Yeah. Other thing we talked about was that were things we had addressed earlier in the meeting. So there's an event that NEAC will have a table at this weekend from 11 to 1:30, hosted in this building by this
On top of community engagement, our door hangers came in. So we have 1,000.
All right.
Okay, 1,000 by 15. So definitely take a handful and make it make it a party thing. Walk and hang. Walk and hang. And Commissioner Wilbury, please take some to the Yardley too. Because I know one of the save dates. I think the the District 1 is having a renters roundtable. And that's on October 20th. And so our goal is to get more renters and so forth engaged in the work in which is being done in the commission. So, so please, everyone take a handful. Again, there are 1,000. So 1,000 divided by 15. So let's do that, and then name badges were requested and are being worked on by the city. So expect some new name badges coming. And please, if you are available this Saturday, please join. I think it's us three so far. That will be here on Saturday morning, 11 to 1. And Commissioner Thompson, you could add that to our NEAC calendar. That'd be fantastic. All right. We'll move on. There are no special committee reports. Treasurer's report. I don't have. I think we are in a new balance, new budget.
Have 2,500 when in reality it has $2,488 because there's a corporate fee of $12 per year from whoever issues the P card. So it's $2,488 for this.
All right, cash money. We can begin thinking about how is it that we want to budget and what is it that we want to budget for in this calendar year. And then lastly, I guess this would be new business. Elections are coming. Casey, did I talk to you about?
We haven't talked, but I think we agree
on that. No, you're good. And so if there are interest of those serving on the elections committee, please just you can let me know now. It's very simple. When it comes to we'll just update documents that will go out. Those that then apply to run starting in June. They have until the end of July to submit their documents. From there, we will certify those to make sure that they had enough signatures from whatever residents and so forth, which they will then be on an August ballot. So I know Commissioner Francisco and I are already working on social media material to put out regarding the elections and so forth, but this is an opportunity. If anybody that you might know that might have an interest in serving on the commission, this is the opportunity to do that and not take the route of appointment, but to go out there, knock on some doors, get signatures, and say, vote for me. So walking hand. And what walking hand, walking hand. So that will be upcoming in June. That elections committee will need to be on the agenda just to be able to share that information.
Chair, just for historical context, we have had people on the elections committee who were not commissioners, so like former commissioners and community members and neighbors have served on the elections committee. Just a heads up.
Yep. So yeah, please let's get that ready to go. All right. Are there any closing questions, comments? Okay, we got.
You mentioned something about Columbus Public Health. Did they happen to mention about whatever happened to their ambassadorship program that they had? Because myself and Ms. Pam used to be their ambassadors.
No, they did not. That did not come up, but I can inquire. Is that what it's called?
That's what I saw on my materials, that they just stopped communicating.
Okay. Thank you for bringing this up. We'll ask.
We'll give you a response within 7 business days via email.
Thank you.
All right.
you need a total, if anyone wants to start splitting it, you need a total of 66 maximum. You can rip up 2/3 of it.
There it is, 66. You know, there's a song called "Get Your Kicks on Route 66." Wonderful. All right, given there are no further questions, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting here at 8:40.
8:40.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All those in favor?
Yep.
Any opposed? All right, have a good night, everybody. Take them all, take the whole stack, take the whole stack. Hey, might be 66 and a half. Say
2/3.
there it is, 2/3.
I rip up 2/3 of it.
I'm sorry. We'll go home and be prepared for school tomorrow, okay? I appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah.